Thanks for joining us again on the newsroom. I am Felix. The senator representing Lagos East, Adebayo Oshinowo, popularly known as Pepe, is dead. He died of COVID-19 a few hours ago at First Cardiologist Hospital in Lagos. Oshinowo was 65. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, says the Nigerian police force has arrested 799 suspects in connection with rape cases. Adamu made the remarks on Monday while briefing State House correspondents after a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa in Abuja. The police boss revealed that between January and May, about 717 rape incidents were reported across the country. He added that 631 cases have been conclusively investigated and charged to court, while 52 cases are still under investigation.
Cases of rape and gender-based violence have been there, and the law enforcement agents have been dealing with these cases. In most cases, members of the public are not aware of the actions that law enforcement agencies have been taking. The Nigerian police so far from January 2020 till May 2020, we've recorded about 717 rape incidents that were reported across the country, and about 799 suspects were so far arrested, with 631 of them, the cases conclusively investigated and charged to court. And we have so far about 52 cases that are remaining under investigation.
A non-governmental group, Act for Positive Transformation Initiative, has raised an alarm over the alleged fraud in the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. The group claims it had conducted extensive research and investigation on the manner the finance of the agency had been squandered. They allege that the amount mismanaged by the NDDC is far above the 40 billion naira been reported in the media.
We submit that this whole ploy is meant to jeopardize the ongoing probe of the Commission. Our curiosity is further heightened by the slow pace of work by the National Assembly. There must not be any political settlement on this wicked rape of the people's resources. Till date, we are yet to receive any invite, any invitation from the National Assembly, despite our extensive work in exposing the ongoing corruption in NDDC. We want to duly and responsibly inform the National Assembly and relevant agencies that the amount under probe should be over 75 billion naira. 75 billion naira, not the touted 40 billion naira. As the present Interim Management Committee, IMC of the NDDC, has expended over 80 billion naira in 4 months. I repeat, 80 billion naira in 4 months. Aside from the wage bill, the rest must be subjected to forensic analysis. The discoveries will amaze Nigerians. So many abuses of regulations.
Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says some traditional rulers are aiding the activities of bandits in Katsina State. Katsina has come under attacks by gunmen, including the killing of at least 40 persons in Kadiso village of Faskari local government area of the state. Garba Shehu claims there are people benefiting from the attacks, adding that some of the traditional rulers help gunmen escape when security agencies are planning attacks. The presidential spokesman said further that the solution to Nigeria's security challenge requires a collective responsibility. He also appealed to Nigerians to provide information to armed forces in order to combat insecurity across the country. The Zamfara State Police Command says it has commenced investigation into the death of Enoch Okpara, a medical doctor who was killed and burnt by unknown assailants. Okpara, a consultant obstetrics and gynecologist at the Federal Medical Center, Gusau, was found dead at his residence on Saturday. Public Relations Officer of the Zamfara Police Command, Shehu Mohammed, said the State Commissioner of Police has ordered an immediate commencement of investigation into the matter in order to arrest the culprits. Bachure was reportedly discovered missing when he did not show up in church on Saturday morning, which was unusual of him. The church then contacted some of his colleagues after calling his mobile phone without response. The burnt body of the deceased was later discovered in the courtyard of his house, while blood stains were seen on the walls of the room. The National Association of Resident Doctors of Nigeria has commenced a nationwide strike. National President of NAJ, Dr. Ali Sokumba, had urged all resident doctors, medical officers below the rank of principal medical officer and house officer across all federal and state hospitals in Nigeria to embark on the total and indefinite strike action from Monday, June 15, 2020. Sokumba clarified that the doctors are striking due to poor welfare of doctors by the federal government across the country.
The NERC resolved to proceed on an indefinite nationwide strike action from today, the 15th of June 2020, by 12:01 a.m. with the exemption of our members attending to COVID-19 patients at designated COVID-19 treatment and isolation centers for the next 2 weeks, after which, if things remain the same, they shall also be co-opted to join the strike. This exemption is in recognition of the intervention of the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, the Chairman House Committee on Health Services, Dr. Tankos Nunu, and other stakeholders, as well as a demonstration of our goodwill to Nigerians. NERC observed that the plight of her members in state tertiary hospitals, such as the non-domestication of the Medical Residency Training Act, the non-implementation of the Act at the state level, the non-implementation of the appropriate salary structure, and the non-payment of old salaries, and recently, the slash of salaries of doctors and other healthcare workers by Kaduna and Kogi state governments, which is yet to receive attention by the stakeholders.
We'll be right back with more stories on the newsroom after this break.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
By the end of 2020, an additional 51,000 children under the age of 5 could die in the Middle East and North Africa due to the COVID-19 pandemic. United Nations agencies, World Health Organization and United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, said this in a joint statement on Monday. The agencies warned that such a number of extra deaths would represent an increase of almost 40% over pre-COVID-19 figures. To tackle this, they propose a full and safe resumption of essential immunization campaign and nutrition services following strict precautionary measures for infection prevention. A total of 58 COVID-19 patients have been discharged in Lagos and Kwara isolation centers after they recovered from the virus. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who gave a breakdown, said 31 of the 48 patients discharged in Lagos are male. Sanwo-Olu said 10 foreign nationals, 2 Indians, 4 Americans, 2 Polish and a Brazilian, and the Dutch were discharged from the isolation facilities in Lagos. Meanwhile, spokesperson of Kwara State COVID-19 Technical Committee, Rafiu Ajakaye, said 10 COVID-19 patients have been discharged in Ilorin, with 50% of 150 confirmed cases still active. 4 staff members working in the office of Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta have tested positive for coronavirus. The presidency said this in a statement on Monday, adding that all 4 have been referred to a nearby hospital for treatment. It was also revealed in the statement that the president and his family are safe and free from COVID-19. All staff members, including the president and his family, are tested on a regular basis to ensure the spread is contained, but there will now be extra access to protocols for those staff members who live outside the State House. Kenya currently has more than 3,000 COVID-19 cases and has recorded over 80 casualties. We'll take a break here and return with more stories. Do stay with us. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, says international customers owe Nigeria 32.8 billion naira in electricity bills. Nigeria sells electricity to neighboring countries like Benin Republic, Togo and Niger. According to the regulator's quarterly reports, Benin Republic and Niger were issued 42.4 billion naira invoice for the electricity purchased from Nigeria in 2019. The Beninois Electricity Community and Nigerian Electricity Society did not make any payment for the first, second and third quarters of the year, only paying 9.6 billion naira in the fourth quarter. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he will establish a commission to look at racial inequality in the UK, following a wave of anti-racism protests spurred by the death of George Floyd by police in the US. Johnson said the body will look at all aspects of inequality in employment, in health outcomes, in academic and all other walks of life. But critics have accused the government of opting for talk rather than action. Since Floyd's death on May 25th, thousands of protesters have been demanding that Britain confront its own history of imperialism and racial inequality. During an anti-racism protest in the city of Bristol, demonstrators pulled down a statue to local slave trader Edward Colston. A statue of wartime Prime Minister Winston Churchill outside Parliament in London was also defaced. Main's manager Achim says Taiwo Awoni has regained consciousness in hospital following a nasty head collision with Felix Udokai. The Nigeria Youth International was forced off in the 22nd minute and was replaced by Karim Onisiwo in his side's 1-0 loss to Augsburg in Sunday's Bundesliga game at the Opel Arena. Awoni was stretched off with his neck in a brace and was motionless before he was rushed to the hospital for further observation. And that's it for today on the newsroom. Thank you for watching.